welcome back to Spiritual Conversations with Cari and Candice. We're glad to see everyone here. We've been having actually a lot of fun doing this.
It has been.
It's been great. But one thing we wanted to talk about today was the topic about angels and angels among us. Now, we know, and I've known for a long time, that angels are around us. We don't always recognize that. But Cari mentioned just during our last break, we talked about something that I mentioned in, I think, this book, The Reluctant Messenger, was one of the first times I had an angel visit me. And I didn't know it at the time, but years later, that when actually I was more familiar in conversing with angels, they actually told me that they were there. But I was like, oh, I don't know, 14, 15 years old. Maybe I was 16. I don't remember if I was driving or not. But I was trying to find my horses, and they were in this huge, like 500-acre field. And I had like the bridle on my shoulder, and I'm just walking, trying to find them. And I'm barefoot. Now, that may not be real
carrying all the horse
gear, but here I am barefooted, and I looked down. And when I look down, I am actually walking down, getting ready to step on a coiled snake. Yeah. Well, I don't know whether it was a poisonous snake or not, but if you're going to die of a heart attack when you step on a snake, it doesn't matter whether it's poisonous or not.
Exactly.
But I can remember I felt as if someone grabbed my shoulders and just lifted me into the air. Now, this is many, many years ago, but I remember telling people the story. I think that there was a guardian angel, and I think that angel pulled me away. Years later, it was verified. What made me all of a sudden look down, not only look down, but then
fly away.
And that really is, was an episode of an angel watching out over me. I don't know how to prove it, but I know it in my, I know it in my heart to be true. And Cari, I think you have a similar situation where an angel intervened.
Yes.
Can you share that with us?
Yeah. So I was up in the mountains with Lexi and Amy, and Amy says, "Hey guys, let me take you on this place to go ski." It's this Northway chair, which now they have a chair there. Back then they didn't, so you had to hike up. So we believed Amy, and we put our skis on, and she was a snowboarder too. We're like hiking up this hill. And if you've ever hiked in snow and ski boots, it's not comfortable. So we hiked way up to this part, and we're trudging along, and she goes, "Okay, I think this is the place." So we put our skis down. Next thing you know, the guy behind us, he's like, "Oh, wait." We're like, there was nobody behind us. He said, "You don't want to drop down there." And Amy said, "Why?" He goes, "That's the cliff band," which if you've ever seen Northway, the cliff band is fatal. So it was like, oh my gosh, thank you. So he said, "You want to go down?" And he told us where to go and then drop down over there. So we're like, "Oh, okay, thank you." We grab our skis, we start walking, and we turn to thank him. There was nobody there. So as we go down there and we ski down, we see that band of cliffs, and we're like, so I knew immediately it was from elsewhere. I could not even talk to these two people about it because they would have said there's no way. But it's like they both, and I do know Lexi for years, she said that was so weird. But it was like, it's unexplainable, right? Yeah, it's unexplainable. And one other quick story. One day I was heading to go to the store. I drive up our street, 2-lane road, and I'm making a right on this street. So I look to the left and there's no cars. And so I go to make my right, and I start accelerating, and I turn, and immediately my car slammed to a stop, and I did not take my foot off the gas pedal. I look, there was 2 cars racing down the hill that I would have been turning right in. I would have had a head-on collision. And wow. I was so I just completely buckled, and I just turned around. I came home, and I'm like, you won't believe what just happened. But it was like, what stopped me from doing that? Guides, angels, I don't know what you want to call it. I just know I'm supposed to be here for a long time. And so it's like, I've had so many things like that have happened that have been unexplainable. That is like, I'm like, how did that happen? How did I not get in that? It's crazy, but it happens all the time.
It does, Cari. It happens all the time. And we say, oh, it's just a coincidence or whatever. But, I remember the late Wayne Dyer used to talk about a coincidence. Generally, we say a coincidence is something that's haphazard. It just happened at the same time something else was going on. But he said, if you think about the word coincidence, the root word is
Oh.
coincide. So, like, for example, in geometry, if two angles coincide, it means it's a perfect match. So there are these coincidences, these perfect matches that happen to us all the time. There can be what's called a bleed through, which, angels are on the other side, which actually isn't the other side. It's just a dimension that's higher vibrational frequency than what we have. So they're around us all the time. But there's this veil or this membrane that separates us. So we call it the other side.
Right.
But they can bleed through, they can come through and actually manifest in human form. They can also manipulate energy. A lot of times people will look at the clock and they say, I always see the clock when it's 4:44, or
Yep.
they can manipulate songs on the radio. There's all sorts of ways that they can actually interact with us. But when they come to Earth in a physical form, and like on the snow, on the ski slope, obviously I'm
Yep.
not a skier, you actually saw them. When the angel pulled me back from the snake, I actually felt it. When your car all of a sudden quit accelerating and started, braking, they were there helping you. But knowing that they're around us is something that's so powerful. Realize that they're here to help us. And when little things like that happen, just give pause, take a deep breath, and say thank
Be
you.
grateful.
Be
Be grateful.
grateful.
Yes.
And that actually encourages more interaction with them, and more that we're aware of too. So it increases the awareness of what they're already doing, which is a
Yep.
great thing.
And as we've talked about before too, like there's a lot of things. We have our plan why we're here, and it's like if that my going into those cars was the plan I made, that I'm going to be in a fatal collision there, then that would happen. But the fact that no, that's not her path. We got to get her out of this route because she's got things to do, things she still has to do. And same with you. It's just, yeah, these things happen, and your heart may skip a beat, you may have a heart attack, but yeah, it's helping guide you on your way.
Yeah.
The path you planned. That's not free will. Me getting hit on by a car. So
Right. But I mean, they're here all the time helping us. I mean, like I am a very organized person. I'm retired now, but when I used to go to work, I would always be at work 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, early. But in my keys, I keep my keys in the same place every day. And I can't tell you how many times I would get ready to go to work and I would look and my keys weren't there. And I would kind of panic. I'd look and I'd finally find my keys, right in front of my eyes. And then I'd rush so I could still be at work 50 minutes early. And then I started realizing this was part of the way that angels and guides will nudge you. There's a reason why I didn't need to go to work at that time. Maybe I
Yep.
needed to be delayed by 2 minutes or 3
There was going to
minutes.
be a big crash on something. Yep.
And it may not have been something even major, like I would be in a, bad car wreck. It could be that, if I went one direction instead of the other or went sooner, then I might, run over a board with a nail in it. But
Yeah,
there would
exactly.
be, but there's these little nudges that we get all the time from our angels. So once again, when that happens, I just give thanks. And
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful that I have that kind of contact. But we all do. If we just open our hearts, we can start realizing the way that we are guided in many ways throughout the days.
And just real quick, a final story I heard not long ago about these people that they wanted to go. They were like going somewhere. They had to get to this place, and then their car, something broke down. They got stuck here. They were so angry and so mad because they couldn't go. Little did they know that the bridge ahead of them collapsed, and
Oh,
they would not
Cari,
have made it
wait,
anyway. It was in a book.
wait.
It was in a book I read.
No, wait. It was in my book.
It was a great story.
Thank you.
You gotta read her books.
Yeah, this was one of the visions that I had that the angel shared with me. So yeah, you read that in my book.
You gotta read her books. Okay, that's the books.
All right, we're
Her
going to end on that one.
Yeah. It was such a good book. You gotta check it out.
Great, thank you. And until next time,
We'll see you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye.